welcome back to the Alternative Millennial Podcast. We are here at the DMG Dream Center in Clayton, coming to you live. I'm here with a few other people. I'll let you guys go ahead and announce who you are. Not that anybody wouldn't know already, but...
Who doesn't know who Eric is? Everyone should know who Eric is. Would you stop it?
And unfortunately we have... Oh, God. Whose decision was this?
Let's bring him in. Keep him on steady.
We haven't even started this yet, and this... Oh, God.
Brian's back, everybody.
That you heard it. Brian is back. Should we announce it now, or?
I don't want to anymore.
We have invited Brian to be more of a permanent fixture on the podcast, so we are going to have a three... I don't want to say threesome. That sounds horrible.
That sounds real bad.
Brian might be into that, but...
I had one threesome back in college, and it didn't go very well.
So anyway, welcome back, guys. We appreciate the views on the last one. We had some good interactions on the last one. I thought it was a great podcast. I had fun with it.
Definitely a good one.
I don't know if it's because Brian wasn't here, or if it's... I'm not sure what it was.
100% that's
It was missing a certain something.
Yeah.
But it was very entertaining, very enjoyable. I did tell you guys that I really enjoyed it. It flowed very well. It captured my attention, and I was just really upset that I wasn't there because it's another one of those subjects that are very near and dear to my heart, and hail Satan.
All
right, Guilfoyle.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, you know the last one was atheist or believer. And then today we have a bit of a different podcast. It's going to be a bit more interesting. It's going to be very exciting, I think. You're going to have a lot of loud voices. You're probably going to tone down some of the audio here.
Some of it's going to be just Brian.
Some of it's going to be Brian. Yeah. Brian's back, and if you couldn't tell what that sound was, Brian just popped open a 40. So,
and it's what, 10 o'clock in the morning?
10 o'clock in the morning,
how awkward it was to be at a grocery store at 9:45 in the morning, and that little girl behind the cash register was like trying to ring up my beer, like looking at me like, I'm like, who the fuck are you? It was so awkward. It was so, because that's all I got. It wasn't like, okay, I need some napkins, toilet paper, some cereal, some eggs, and maybe a beer. No, it was just me walking up to the register with this one 24-ounce beer, and I just chugged about half of it right now. So.
Is that beer, though?
Coors, can we really say that name?
They're not a sponsor.
They're not a sponsor, but that's my beer of choice. My go-to is Coors Light. I head for the Rockies just about every single night. I'm a functioning alcoholic, and I love it. It's delicious.
What were we thinking, man? We got to talk about this more before we keep bringing him in here like this.
The once-a-week meetings aren't working well for us.
They're not working out, yeah. We need to start meeting a little bit more often or something.
Well, I am the path that you don't want. I am the cautionary tale guy.
Yes.
You said how I make you guys look so much better or sound so much better, and that is my job.
I guess that's what it is. He's got a point there. Yeah. He does make us look a lot better.
You go.
Yeah, definitely.
So you think you're doing bad now? You can get a lot worse. You can get it can go off the rails in just a few minutes. Let me take another swig.
Quick while he's quiet.
Yeah, right. So guys, just to let you know, ampodcast1@gmail.com. That is our email, and then we are at ampodcast1 on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us both there. And then Twitter, we are ampodcast18. Brian, you're going to be
I wasn't going to do that while you were doing your professional thing.
You're going to be a wreck today. So we got a couple good surprises for you today. Today we definitely have, the episode itself is kind of a surprise. It's going to be a rant session followed by a Q&A. Some of the Q&As we've got, some of the questions we've got submitted, we're going to have answered live on this podcast today for you today. So that was very redundant.
A little bit. It's okay.
Yeah, today. And there it is. That
had to get out.
That's it. We can close it down now. We're done.
It was a good run while it lasted.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I guess that's it. Anyway, so today we are going to have we're going to have Brian's reaction on Facebook Live. So I'm going to be doing Facebook Live during this podcast, so you guys can actually see inside this podcast to his mail that he got that he's so excited to hear about, and I'm pretty excited for him to hear about too. I think we've been waiting for this for a while. But Eric, anything else you want to add while I'm pulling up this email?
So yeah, you're going to hear this every week, but the website's still coming along. I've been gone for the past few days on vacation, but I will finally have a day off on Tuesday, and I'm hoping to get it up by then. So keep an eye out for that. That's just alternativemillennial.com. So that'll be up soon.
It links to our Facebook page right now, doesn't it?
Right now, yeah, it's just a landing page.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting. I'm definitely pretty excited about that. So I'm pulling up our live. We can pull up our page here. We're going to go live here in just a minute, and then we're going to read everything to Brian. Sorry, guys.
Well, while he's pulling up, I'm going to pull out real quick. And no, I was so sorry I missed the last podcast. I really wanted to be there for that mail that I supposedly got. I was in New Bern, great town, great marina town, and it was fun. The company put me up in a nice hotel. I'm not going to drop a name because we're all about small business, and they don't really need any more help. But it was just a week of just, working and then having the rest of the day off. Good meals, good food, good beer. I want to throw a shout out to Paula's Pizza, small business there. Made a really great pepperoni pizza. And another shout out to Captain Ratty's in downtown New Bern. Really excellent shrimp and grits. Awesome crab cakes, very little breading.
Shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits, baby. Cheesy grits with grilled shrimp, barbecue bacon, green onions, and kielbasa sausage. It was delicious. And
that sounds delicious.
Follow that up with a nice draft of Yinling. I was in heaven. And
sounds nice.
Company paid for it. So.
You need to work on your beer choices.
Thank you, company.
You need to work on your alcohol choices, period.
True.
It was cheap. It was cheap. Oh, my God. It was delicious and was cheap. And...
So Eric, can you pull that email up? I can't do Facebook Live and read that email at the same time. So
I was gonna make a sex tape while I was in the hotel room, but I didn't think a lot of people wanted.
I'm really glad you didn't.
Well, how many people are gonna click on a lonely guy with a beard eating a pepperoni pizza? And,
I'm sure there's a market for it.
And alone in his hotel room, Jesus.
This is the last time my grandma's gonna listen to this podcast.
Apparently, my grandmother was told she can't listen to this podcast.
Was that after our last episode?
Can I throw a shout out to your dad? I was thinking about this yesterday. I want to throw a shout out to your dad. He was one of the first people I met when I was applying to join the company that we all work for. And what really caught my attention was when I was filling out my paperwork was somebody made a comment to him and he threw out a random airplane joke and said, "Well, looks like quit the wrong day. I picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue."
Yep.
And I just looked at him and I was like, "Yes, you are fucking cool."
That is my dad.
Yeah, he sat down with I won't say it. So there were some children there, and he taught them how to play Pokemon Go. That was the coolest. I'm like, this guy is awesome.
Yeah. My dad's one of a kind.
He is a really good dad. He is a really cool person, and that's why I can see why you're so cool. Look, I'm not always cynical. I'm a nice guy.
Okay, so awkward pause, and then we'll read the email.
All right. Let me take a swig.
Yeah, I'll give you
get some more beer. I'm very lovey-dovey. Maybe I should have done this on the Positive Vibes podcast.
While he's quiet drinking, you go ahead and read.
All right. So the hashtag Positive Vibes podcast was enlightening. I find it funny how Brian and Chris were able to destroy the world with positive news. Ironic. Brian is quite funny, but I was curious why David Hogg triggered him. Is he that sensitive to the issue of youth attempting to create change for their generation, even if he is wrong? Keep it up.
So he's saying that he's agreeing with me that David Hogg is wrong. Is that what I gather from that?
From what I understand, saying even if he is wrong.
It's more of a hypothetical. He's just asking why it triggers you so much.
Because people like to throw out that word change like it's for the better. They like to use that word change like, we're changing for the good. No, this guy is systematically too prepared. Just like with that girl from that Cuban shaved head girl, looks like Edward Furlong in fucking American History X. These people try to use that change and the death of innocent people to take control over all of America's citizens and take away their rights under the guise of we're going to change. You're not making anything any better. Nothing like that has ever been good. Taking away human beings' rights has never been a good thing. A lot of dictators back in the 30s, 40s of the previous century, they did the same thing, and look what happened. And it drives me crazy how people will get behind this and they want to go and protest and march. And don't you have anything better to do on a beautiful day? To me, it just drives me crazy. And they use these tragedies to kind of further their own personal agenda. Like this David Hogg, you were telling me, Chris, that this guy wants to be a lifelong politician. Who the fuck in their right mind wants to ever do that?
I agree with you, and that's his goal. And you look at his family, looking at the back, and this goes into the first part of the rant too, because this was on my list of rants.
Segues.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of follow up with that walk out or walk up, and this is a good segue to that. I'm not a huge fan of the guy. However, like I told Brian, I think Brian's anger is a bit displaced, because I think if you are conservative, or I shouldn't even say conservative, let's leave that out of it, let's leave that title. If you are a Second Amendment supporter, regardless of what political affiliation you fall with, I think David Hogg is the best thing to happen. Because you start seeing that extreme come out in some of these people. You start seeing some of these, just rabid extremist, the way he stands up, and the vileness that comes out. It goes against what we do.
Oh, yeah.
The conversation, how vile he is in some of those. I don't know if you've seen his Instagram videos, some of his Twitter videos. But, I'm
trying to keep myself away from this as much as I can. Your rants are going to be current world politics. Mine are going to be what's going on in gaming.
Yeah.
I like to try to keep a happy mentality.
That's why I love both of you, because I can talk to him about video games, and you and I can have political discussions all day long. That's basically what we do at work, and what you and I do in the break room whenever we have a free time. It's fun. And I don't know. I see where you're saying how I'm getting so upset, and that guy just triggers me.
That's your trigger word, man. I got a Facebook video to prove that. Like, you triggered. That's what triggered you.
What triggers me is stupidity, and how people blindly follow these people without asking any questions, and they think that they're doing good, but they're really they're trying to take our rights away.
But you could say that about the other side too. You have all these people who are just blindly following the NRA and using this as
no.
Yeah,
no, because a lot of the time, they're stupid. They're both sides. I can argue for both sides. I even saw something on John Oliver on HBO where they were showing this NRA TV, and this lady took this other lady to get her comfortable with quote unquote ARs. And when I saw the video, it was the M&P 1522 long rifle semi-automatic, and you could just hear from the gunshot and the casing expelled. Like, that's a 22. That's not an AR-15. Like, even they're coming off wrong, trying to show, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's like, that's not even an AR. That's just a 22 rifle. It's basically the same thing, but not as much firepower. I hate stupidity when it comes to guns. I love it. Like, every single time there's a tragedy, like, everybody in the world is a freaking expert on firearms. Everybody in the world. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody knows. But half of these people have never fired a firearm in their life. I'm not going after you. I'm just saying, like, you haven't. You haven't. I'm just saying, like, but what I respect about you is that you don't want to just no guns.
I think what you mean is even Eric, he could disagree with us, but he brings common sense to the table versus leaning one way or the other,
exactly.
trying to push an agenda.
Exactly.
When we had our walk up or walk out conversation, there was common sense in that conversation.
Yes.
We tried coming to solutions, not just arguing. As extreme as I am on the Second Amendment, and is not as extreme as Eric is on the Second Amendment, I think we brought a substance to the table that had a good medium.
Yep,
and had
you got to find that common ground, and that's what we're not seeing anywhere else.
Yeah, it had a nice segue, had a nice midpoint, and we talked true conversation. We talked true solutions. We didn't just babble back and forth and argue about guns, and so that was a good And I think this is a good one. Guys, actually on Facebook, if you're on Facebook Live now, we're going to go ahead and end the Bryant Rant. You got to tune in to hear the rest of the podcast today. We do appreciate you guys joining in. But
and another thing.
Oh, God.
No, what happened with the lady in YouTube? What happened with the lady in YouTube? That story was like quickly just brushed under the carpet.
Well, we can come back to the walk up or walk out and gun control. I do have similar opinions as you, Brian. We just wanted to get your opinion. I was hoping to get your reaction. That was a little bit more animated on the other day.
He didn't break this chair.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you caught me. I had a chance to think about it and calm down.
I know.
When you said that at the beginning, you really, because you could tell, like, for the first time in a long time, I got quiet when you first mentioned his name. I just sat there and steamed.
But I want to get into something, and this is part of my rant that I'd like to get into, and this is something that you guys have seen probably on the news. You haven't, you couldn't avoid this. This talks about the double standard
That's a challenge right there.
Yeah, well, this talks about a double standard that we're addressing now, and especially in politics. I don't know if you all seen Mark Zuckerberg has gone before.
Lizard Man?
Yeah, he's gone before the Congress to testify, whatever. He's not even under oath.
No.
So I'm not even sure what they have going on, what they're doing. I don't know if it's all a ploy. However, here is my problem, and I'm gonna address it from the conservative side and from the liberal side when you start talking politics, because that's what this is. This is, we all know Facebook, Instagram. I don't know much about Instagram. I'm guessing they are. A lot of your social media sites, they're liberal leaning. They're actually filtering out stuff that they don't want from the conservative side. And there's really no arguing at it. We've seen it in multiple places. Now, there is a side that we could say that they might be starting to filter out both sides. Because that one lady that shot up YouTube or went in there to do damage, she was actually taken off YouTube and she was demonetized. So now that YouTube is this big conglomerate, they're demonetizing everybody. You've experienced that.
I've gone through it. I can't get money off my old page anymore.
Yeah, so like you've experienced it, and it's not because of your political views. It's just
they're changing the way things are, trying to filter out people.
So the interesting thing is, I was listening to politicians question Mark Zuckerberg. And then I listened to Mark Zuckerberg's answers. I'm not disappointed with his answers. I'm not disappointed with their questions. What is interesting is hearing people's response to the situation. You hear, you go on a liberal news organization and you hear all these liberals arguing that it's a private enterprise. Let it be. You people know what they're getting. It's a private business. Then you hear politicians, well, Mark Zuckerberg, and you hear, conservative politicians questioning him. Well, you're left-leaning, you're liberal, and you need to go before Congress and testify. But if you think back, I don't know, a year ago, there was a bakery in Seattle that is now out of business because they were sued for not baking a cake for a lesbian wedding. Or I think it was a lesbian, or let's just say it's a homosexual wedding.
Yep.
Now, the roles were reversed, which this is when you find the double standard. So now we're arguing about a liberal organization that has free enterprise. Now liberals are saying, oh, it's free enterprise. Let them do what they want. And then you have conservative politicians saying, oh, no, they need to be questioned before Congress. But a year ago, the roles were reversed. Our conservative politicians were, oh, free enterprise. And the liberals are saying, oh, no, you can't discriminate.
No.
So this right here points out, I think it brings us all together and points out how ridiculous the double standards are in politics and our views in politics. We will twist and manipulate anything to fit what we believe. And that right there, I had to rant about that because every I'm looking through all these comments and I'm going to different news. Our AMP podcast, we follow MSNBC, we follow CNN, we follow Fox, we follow Politico, I follow Breitbart, we follow all of them.
That's why you handle Twitter more than I do.
So, no, Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Going back to that with the cake maker, like, why didn't you just go to somebody else who was gay friendly? Why do you have to persecute somebody because they've had a different feeling for you? Like, I don't agree with him, like, discriminating against gay marriage, because I don't care. Like, if you want to get married, go for it. Like, that's a road, like, I don't know if I ever go down.
Well,
so if you found somebody to do that with, no matter what their sex or gender is, go for it. But if this person wouldn't make one for you, go down the street. You'll find somebody else. Why? You just had to have this particular cake? Are you that narcissistic that you had to have that one, and you were that self-centered that you had to make that all about you?
Well, I think you're getting into the topic of the actual incident, and we can get on that in just a second.
Well, the cake. I'm sorry. We're ranting. The cake maker, he pays the insurance for the place. He pays for the rent. He pays for everything. If his business doesn't work out because of what he does, nobody else has to pay for that. That's his life savings that went down the tube. So if he wants to make a rule, say, hey, I don't believe in this, I'm not going to do that. Nobody should say otherwise that he should. That is his opinion. And if he doesn't want to make a cake for you, then fuck him. Go somewhere else and get somebody else to make a cake.
And I agree with you on that. That's actually how I am. I'm full free enterprise. And if you look at free enterprise, if the government would keep its nose out of business, the people will take care of the businesses. If you have a business that's discriminating against, let's say, a specific population, and that word gets out, especially now with social media, with as fast as information travels, in my opinion, that will destroy that business. Because I tell you right now, if you told me that this business that I go to is not serving, let's be very generalistic, not serving, let's say, black people, I ain't going to that business. I'm
Okay,
not
and you're not
business.
going to as a person because you feel like that's stupid that they're doing that. And I feel like everything should be free except maybe government facilities. Like, government facilities should not be able to discriminate, but private facilities, if a restaurant doesn't want to serve black people because they don't want to serve black people, then who the fuck are you to say anything about it? Just, hey, black people don't go there. If there was a restaurant that said no whites allowed, like, fine, you're not getting my money. I'm not going to go home and cry about it. Well, I think lost out a big percentage of the market by not serving me, just like restaurants would lose out on a big number of the market by not serving
especially
blacks or African Americans. I'm not trying to be discriminating. I'm just saying, stop worrying about shit like that. If they don't want to serve you, go down the street, go somewhere else that will. Why would you give money to somebody who doesn't like you?
And I agree with your opinion on that topic, but bringing it back to what I was talking about, the double standard in politics, that was just an example of me comparing the two talking points on those politicians. I think we follow politicians too blindly, and that's always been one of my rants that I like to talk about, because it drives me nuts when I hear somebody say, "Oh, well, they think I'm conservative, so you must be
support every single point that they make."
Exactly, you must vote down ballot, and you support Cruz, or you support this person just because they said that. Well, actually, no. I don't know if you guys have listened before, but I've called out stupid stuff that I don't agree with. Trump is a good example of this. Guy's a moron. I mean, he really is. He's made some good decisions.
2 steps back with him all the time.
Yeah, he's made some good decisions. There's some policy that I agree with. But at the same time, as far as overall, if you can't call out the stupid stuff they're doing and you can't realign with your values versus realigning with your politician, and we can move on to another rant. That was my rant because
you're right. You're exactly right.
The Mark Zuckerberg incident really highlighted the double standard in our politics and who we follow and who we support, because these same liberals that are on there preaching free enterprise, they should have been preaching that a year ago. And then the same conservative politicians up there grilling Mark Zuckerberg. How dare you sit on a stage and grill him, but yet you weren't doing the same thing before?
They're just mad that he's doing a better version of surveillance than they've ever been around.
You're 100% right on that.
Goddamn, like that fucking Zuckerberg, man. God. But you know what? Here's the thing about going back to privacy on Facebook. Okay, let's talk about privacy on Facebook. Well, stop posting half-naked pictures of your kids on Facebook every 5 freaking minutes. And stop posting special, like...
Who are you friends with, man?
Like family members and friends are always... I'm not talking about naked pictures. I'm like, that's gross. I'm just saying that they're constantly sharing photos of their fucking kids on Facebook and constantly sharing, today's my husband's birthday. I love him so much. He's the man of my... Yes, that's why you fucking married him. Keep that to your fucking self. Like, Jesus Christ, just show me fucking... God, never mind.
That may have been better than Hog.
No, I'm just so sick. I'm so sick. I'm like, and people think I'm being salty because I'm single. It's like, no, I'm single and I'm fucking enjoying it. I love not having to answer to anybody else. But it's just, people want to talk about, my privacy's being invaded on Facebook. Meanwhile, they just took a picture of what they're about to eat, posted where they're about to eat it, and then
they're the newer
and then
one.
Tagged a bunch of their friends in it. It's like, we don't have any privacy
it's going
anymore.
Much deeper than that.
Have you seen the new one though? There's a new one where people are actually posting a picture, asking who their first grade teacher was, asking all these security questions.
Yeah,
people are filling it out and putting it on Facebook.
Yeah, you're falling for it, you stupid fucks.
Social engineering. It's all these, what would your stripper name be? It's your mom's maiden name and the street you grew up on.
My stripper name would be Cinnamon.
Those are common security questions.
And the scary thing, truthfully, I think you might have something. I think politicians are pissed. And the reason I say that is because now Mark Zuckerberg has created a platform. We are volunteering the depths of our privacy to an organization that can exploit it for ads. We're giving it away freely on a daily basis, and we're posting all this stuff. And I'm guilty. I post all kinds of stuff. I keep my page private, like the Alternative Millennial page, though. It's completely public. So
I connected myself to that for some reason.
What's that?
I connected myself for that for some reason. So you click on that page, you can see my full profile.
Yeah. And those Vic and customer cards at grocery stores, they're in bed with it too. Because I swear to God, I can't turn on Facebook without seeing an ad for Diet Dr. Pepper. And what do I buy just about every single week at the grocery store is a 6-pack or 12-pack of Diet Dr. Pepper.
You go to Google Maps. I learned something about my phone the other day that I had no. You go to Google Maps. It shows for the past. I think I could click all time. It shows everywhere in the United States that I use Google Maps to get to and where I've been. Shows how long I was there, how long it took me to drive. Like my entire year's worth of trip taking and location is there. And I turned it off, but that's...
Then they roll out this program. You can be a Google guide. You can answer a question about places you've been, and they're going to collect all that data.
And I have been doing that, thinking that I was just getting free money for apps, and now here I am. The reason they offered me to be a guide is because I was traveling everywhere when I was working with my last job. So,
fun little fact for you people out there on the internet: if you ever come across a service that you really like and it's completely free, you are absolutely the product. You are not getting anything for free. They're taking all that information and using it for ad revenue.
Exactly. It's like, why do you expect to get something for free in this world? Like, Facebook is free. No, it wasn't. They were taking all your information, all your friends, your birth date, asking you all these random questions to try to gauge, just suck information out of you. They're sponging. They're sponging for information.
Sponging?
And Eric would agree with me. They are sponging. Their spongers are engorged like the size of basketballs, and they are just sucking up all that information from us and taking it.
That must be the Coors terminology. That must be the definition.
It's the Coors / Futurama. It's a Futurama episode. But here I am, a single guy. Not necessarily a single guy, but just somebody who sees the bullshit that is being projected towards me. I see it. Like, people are blind to it, but I think, I see it. So that's why I feel like I'm Winston Smith, and I'm just enjoying my Victory cigarettes and enjoying my Victory gin, just watching the TV, and I love Big Brother. I love him. If anybody can guess what I'm referring to, you've got
that was actually
cool points.
Well, that's something else that leads into another rant that I was thinking of and that I wanted to get into. And this isn't more of a rant as it is just a warning. If you guys listen to this podcast, especially if you have children and they have smartphones, you guys really need to be wary of what that smartphone's collecting. Just to give you an example, Instagram...
I'm trying to get to it right now, but Facebook apparently is collecting all that data and will categorize you on all that
stuff. They do. Yeah, they categorize. They've already categorized me.
I'm trying to bring mine up, but I can't find it again.
It's under ads, I think, and then... Anyway.
Yeah, continue.
So if you have kids... When my nieces were younger, they did Instagram, and I thought it was harmless, posting, just general pictures, nothing bad. And I found out that it would tag that picture at their geolocation. You could look at the details of that picture, and it would tag a geolocation. And I'm talking blue dot in their bedroom, like their location. So any predator, anybody that had access to Instagram could go and find their picture, find out where they took that picture, and it'd show, let's say, kids and social media, they're taking hundreds of pictures. So all 100 pictures are taken right here, and this geotagged location shows right where they were. That's terrifying. Yeah. So if you guys have kids, have smartphones... I guess a daily rant would be wary. Be very, very wary of how they're using their smartphone, how they're collecting, who's collecting data on them. It sounds like it's almost an invasion of privacy of your children, but when my kid's old enough that they're going to have extremely limited use of technology.
Take that phone out of their hands. Take that away. Save you about $45 a month on charges, and take that phone. Who cares if they're not cool at school? Middle school, high school is a joke. Wait till they get to college and they can do what they want to. Wait till college. They're not ready for this shit. Whatever.
Are any of us ready though?
Not for this technology. Like Eric, I think, has said on previous podcasts, the technology is surpassing our knowledge of it, our ability to adapt to it.
And that's the problem. You have a bunch of these people developing this technology, and the general person, just like our legal terms, we have no idea what it is.
Who reads those terms of agreement? You just say yes, I agree.
But that's what I'm saying. Why do you not read them? Because you don't understand half of it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's all lawyer jargon.
Yeah.
Facebook is not meant for what people, I don't know. Facebook is used to send happy birthday wishes, catch up with people you went to high school, maybe try to fuck them, and I don't know. It's just to post just music on Facebook. I mean, people try to use it for put all their information on.
You definitely got to have the E for explicit on the sound code.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Brian's taking a little overboard.
But yeah, right here we have.
Well, you said this was ranting.
My categories on Facebook, how they classify me. They know I'm away from my family. They call me a console gamer, which is just weird to me. But the more important things is return from travel 2 weeks ago. I went to South Carolina 2 weeks ago. I never posted anything about that.
I know. It's creepy.
Also calls me a liberal, which, fair enough, but I don't post anything political on my page.
Dirty
Oh,
liberal.
he's...
You're just classified as a liberal, like the site. Probably you're classified as a liberal. The sites you go to, I would say maybe more liberals. You're all about gaming and coding, so I think more
I
liberals
don't
are
use
tied
Facebook to go to those websites. How do they know what websites I go to?
Dude, they're watching.
Exactly.
Brothers
They're
fucking
scraping data.
They are. They really are.
So if you guys want to check this out, I'm on the app right now for Facebook. So if you're listening, if you go to Facebook and then you go down under settings, settings and privacy, you go to account settings, and then you scroll down to ads at the very bottom. And then advertisers, sorry.
Your categories.
Your categories, sorry. I turned mine off. That's right.
Yeah, I turned mine off too, but they still show up for me.
Yeah.
Think about the computing power that is in this room right now with this computer and our 3 phones here, and we are just feeding the zeitgeist by.
Yeah.
Just,
I'm sorry.
We're on.
I'm sorry,
it.
Brian. Let me interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just go to it says your information first.
Yes.
Then you scroll down to your categories, and it'll say review and manage your categories. And then like mine, this is crazy. It tells you, away from hometown, away from family. Obviously, you guys know, my wife and I are the only ones here.
Right.
That's terrifying for me because now people know that. Well, then, no, I'm on a podcast, anyway. But you get what I'm saying. Like anybody could go on here and look at this. Commuters, engaged shoppers.
Yeah, me too. Which makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
because I block all the ads.
Right. Family-based household, Gmail users. Like this is insane. Healthcare and medical services. That showed up when I started going to the doctor's appointment with my wife because she's pregnant. I never posted anything about that. Technology early adopters. So I guess since I'm into tech, I like to adopt early tech. Sales, production, small business owner. Like this is insane. So all this stuff, and it categorized. I deleted mine, but it categorized me as conservative, which I was. Surprised it didn't do, extremely conservative.
Alt-righter.
Yeah. But no, it's kind of interesting to see.
Tiki torches on sale at Walmart. I will say something to that because I want to lead into that. There was something that was happening on Facebook for like the last 2 weeks. I mean, not on Facebook, but Pandora. And they were playing ads for Dinty beef stew. Like, dope, Dinty stew. I hate beef stew, but I went to the grocery store yesterday. I went down that aisle and I picked up a can of Dinty stew and put it in my basket. What the heck is going on?
It's delicious.
Okay, it better be because I just instinctually reached for it because you were just hearing that for the last 2 weeks. Chop that tree, Dinty stew. Yeah. It was just constant, just.
So
come on, bye. What?
You're keeping the cycle going.
I'm keeping this. I like to be that person. I don't, but I've been, after those right and left Twix ads have been out, like I've been buying Twix left and right.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. I'm a right Twix guy, but I do.
Well, you can just give the left to Eric.
I'm a left.
No, it's two right Twix in the bag, so I get both of them. I don't have to give the other one to Eric.
Shocker. You're just taking everything from me, aren't you?
Yes. I took your job.
Oh, man. They took our jobs. Sorry.
I took his job. No, I just took his responsibility. He just gets to...
Oh, man.
Stand around all day.
So, Eric, what kind of rant you got, man? I'm gonna...
You probably make the same as I do. That's what's sad.
Let's read about that, how the cautionary tale got the promotion.
Yeah. The guy who was willing to do everything. I got the promotion, and but I get a lot of perks out of it, too. It's nice. I'm not going to complain. I'm going back down to New Bern for 2 days to help open a store. And stay in the same hotel. Have some more delicious food.
Get that same room. That was a nice view.
I hope I don't want that same room. That room did not have HDMI input on its TV, and I couldn't play video games for 5 days.
How dare they?
Yeah, hashtag
The 39-year-old's pissed because he couldn't play video games in this hotel room.
Those are real-world problems. Right? I don't care about the kids in Sudan who can't get clean drinking water. I couldn't play Minecraft for 5 days.
Minecraft of all things. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Okay, come on, Eric. What do you got, man? I know you got something on your mind.
You know how cloudy it is out, man? It's town. No. Big thing for me is lately the ads on absolutely everything. Like, I can't watch a Facebook video now without some sort of advertisement coming out. It is a home video. You get 5 seconds in, and oh wait, there's a 40-second ad you got to watch.
You know how genius they are with those too.
Oh,
it's
they are
right before like the peak of whatever video you're watching. Like somebody's about to fall flat on their face. They're like 2 inches from the ground. And boom, the ad starts. And I'm like, what? They just completely ruined the movie.
And at that point, I don't care. I'm blocking your page. You're done. But I see it on YouTube too. They used to set up. You got a before video ad or an end video ad. That's fine. watching a 5-minute video, I don't need 3 30-second ads thrown into that thing.
I think it's time for replacement.
I agree. But because you're seeing a weird switch here now because advertisers are leaving, but you're seeing more ads. They're not going anywhere else. So you're attacking. So Facebook is becoming that alternative, and it's driving me insane.
People don't realize why your general television, your typical television, why people left that. They left that for your, immediate views, your on-demand stuff, because they didn't have those commercials. They didn't have. So it's going to be sooner or later, people are going to start going away from these platforms again.
It is, and I feel bad doing it, being a content creator myself, but it's gotten to a point I have to have an ad block on at all times. It drives me up a goddamn wall that they're just throwing all these ads in. And some people I understand. I mean, you have a relevant ad, you're throwing it at the beginning of the video. That's cool. I'm going to whitelist you. We're going to be good. But when you're some random YouTuber, 5-minute video, 4 ads thrown in there that have nothing to do with it, it just seems like you're just trying to cash out on a popular phase. I'm not going to contribute to it.
So I'm not too into that. I know you're into that because you have your YouTube channel. Is that up to the content creator to insert those ads?
Yeah, you can set up how they set up. Like all of mine have always been before video, after video.
Okay.
I would never do one in between the video because that just, it ruins what YouTube used to be. It used to be you go on, you watch it, it's your alternative to TV. You don't have to deal with the commercials. YouTube, big company. I mean, yes, there's ads, but they're reasonably placed. They're reasonable, relevant ads. Now I'm watching a gaming video for 5 minutes, and here's some ads for Hims getting ED pills, and it makes no sense.
No, it does make sense because you want to see that. So there's money in that from an advertiser.
Oh no, I understand that.
There is money in that, and I like you said, like you watch your gaming ads. I love my Fallout lore series. I'll throw a shout out to Shoddycast in particular. I make great content for Fallout 4, Fallout universe. But those ads, it's like a 7-minute like little web thing, and then I got to watch 5 minutes of commercials.
Right, and I'm not saying not to run ads. I mean, we're trying to do the same thing. You just got to do it smart. I mean,
right. I think what you're saying
more
is
viewers if you're cutting up videos with all these ads.
People are just throwing in ads to drive the revenue versus being smart about it.
Exactly.
You ruin the content. You ruin the experience with the content.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of pages I won't watch any other stuff anymore because they just got to a point where felt like I was watching more ads than their actual content.
Yeah, because I think when you have an experience when you're watching this stuff, you have a certain experience. You kind of. You see it, you have a certain feeling. When you get interrupted in the middle of an ad, it's like, well, there's that.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's Facebook videos those are the worst.
They're getting real bad.
They're the worst. And I'll scroll through different videos, and I think that my wife brought up a point. She goes, "You must watch a lot of Facebook videos." And I do. Like I'll watch one after another because it seems like they're all kind of relative in the same subject.
Right.
One of my favorites in Fail Army. I love Fail Army. It's hilarious watching people fall on their face and failing. I mean, it's not me, so hey, it's funny.
It's cute for like a few minutes. I just
for a few minutes.
Interest in that real quick. Like scrolling down is like it's why am I on Facebook? Why am I on Facebook? Like,
yeah, I feel the same way. But it kills 5 minutes. It's actually funny for first 5.
It was a novelty, and it was really fun to reconnect with old friends. And like, I know one of my high school friends. She arranged our 20-year reunion through Facebook.
20 years.
Yeah, that's how old I am. 20 years. I finally went to my 20-year reunion, but it was pretty fun. It was at a bar. We all had like drinks and just shots.
How do we have an alternative millennial podcast and he's in a 20-year reunion?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's the old producer.
I'm on the I'm the crotchety old Gen X guy. Which you look up the definition. I am. What is the definition for Gen X? Jesus. What is it? I'll look it up here in just a second. I'll use my smartphone to look it up because I have all this. What?
You know how to operate that?
Yeah.
We need to teach you. You need to teach you how to set up like tones.
It wants me to swipe right. What the hell does that mean? But the generation we're just disenfranchised from authority figures. We're like, why do I have to listen to you, man? And now we're all like 20 years later, like. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. I don't care.
Now we just fix everything you
just
guys.
Give me. Well, because we didn't grow up with all this instant information, and now we have it. Like, where was this when I was in high school when I could just, go on the internet and looked up the information I needed to write a paper?
It wasn't invented.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't invented. It was just, Al Gore didn't invent it yet, guys. I mean,
boy.
That's a whole other topic there.
But that was it's just interesting. Like I grew up in this time where everything was like analog. You had to go to a library. You had to subscribe to magazines. Who subscribes to magazines anymore except for dentist offices and sperm banks? But it's I love it because I love the technology, because I don't think a night goes by that I don't at least listen to Animal Farm, 1984, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit on YouTube as like a little bedtime story for little O'Brien so he can go to sleep.
I just thought of a name for this podcast. # parental advisory.
We can't rebrand now.
No, this episode.
Oh, there you go.
No, I think that would work well because the more controversial or the more like kind of buzzwordy it is, I think you got more hits on that. You got a lot of hits on the Walk Up, Walk Out.
That one we did, yeah.
But that was a really good podcast, too.
Well, that addressed something that was relevant.
Are you insinuating that the rest of our podcasts aren't as good?
They are good, but I think the wording, positive vibes, you were talking about, we're all subjected to all this why you did the positive vibes, because we're all subjected to this negative stuff, and all this positive stuff goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
Well, what's the old saying? Oh, it takes 270 muscles to frown, but only 70 to smile. Well, yeah, we get more out of negative stuff than we do the happy stuff.
And to be fair, you guys took all the positivity and just said, well, what if this happened, and went straight down.
We did. We did destroy the world twice.
Yes, we did.
Once with
Everybody
nanobots.
got cancer.
Yeah. No. We destroyed it once with nanobots, and we destroyed it again with the DEF CON 1 talking about nuclear war.
Yeah, you kind of went and started talking about total annihilation. You tried to add a
So that
positive
puppy's
spin.
cute, but those nukes, man.
Well, what happens with real fallout? No.
These bugs that can cure cancer are awesome, but what if the whole world becomes annihilated?
Oh man.
But that is fun. That is fun because it's fun to laugh at that, because I think that's positive to see that we've always faced this uncertainty, but to be able to laugh in the face of it is.
It's not uncertainty anymore. Trump just goes on Twitter and tells everybody what we're going to do.
Oh, God, that's another rant that I'm not even going to. Take that damn Twitter handle away.
Jesus, I know.
No, you can't take his Twitter handle away because it's freedom of speech. He just shouldn't do it because
he broke the terms of service for Twitter and should be banned from the site.
That's true. That's true.
But
But can you
threatening
imagine
comments.
like George Washington or Thomas Jefferson had
Yeah,
like,
but if you
Twitter
took
back then?
if you banned users of Twitter whoever made threatening comments, there would be like half the Twitter users.
Oh my God!
And it would be great, and I would use it more.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, I've read some of those
you're
comments.
controlling speech.
Man, you say something on there and somebody doesn't agree with, they're ready to hunt you down and kill you.
Yeah, but you can't control speech. I don't care.
But you can, because it's a private entity. Private enterprise. They should be able to discriminate against who they want to.
My mantra is my mantra. Free speech is free speech is free speech is free speech.
So that's actually a good question. Hang on, Brian. I'm going to interrupt
Okay.
you guys because that's actually a really good question. Where do you draw the line? You have free enterprise and you have free speech. Where exactly do you draw the line?
There's
If it's
no line.
Well, sure there is. There has to be a line.
There can't be a line because it's not free speech if there's a line. Because then you start going down, like you like to say, a rabbit hole. I don't care. If you don't agree with the speech, then turn it off. Change the
If you're
channel.
going to go, here's my point though. I'm not trying to disagree with you, but I'm going to agree with Eric on this a little bit. I am a free enterprise guy. However, if I'm posting my opinions on a private enterprise, a private business, and they filter my speech, is it wrong or is it against free speech? Because it is a private enterprise.
That is wrong.
How?
Because free speech is free
So
speech
you believe
is free speech.
You believe we should turn our heads when you discriminate against somebody of a certain ethnicity if a business discriminates, but if a business discriminates a certain language, they shouldn't be able to discriminate.
Oh. Somebody got me there.
But you see what I'm saying?
No, what I said was that the government shouldn't regulate that discriminating against a person and that they shouldn't discriminate against free speech. It's all free.
No, but you're saying that the free enterprise has the right to turn away these people because that's how they set it up. But Twitter's
We're
the
not
same
talking
way.
about government.
The individual company, yes, because he's the one who has to do the work.
Right.
He doesn't want to do that work.
So why can't Twitter do the same thing?
Well, you can, but it's not free speech at that point. I'm saying you can, but it's not free speech. If they can do that, then they're not really promoting free
So
speech.
what you're saying then is it's not a conversation about free speech. It's just a conversation about a business doing what they want to do. Is that what you're trying to say?
Right. Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
I didn't understand what you're trying to say.
I just because I'm a little inebriated right now, so I want to make sure that I'm not coming off as like a hypocrite, and I don't want to.
No. So the conversation, what you're trying to tell us is the conversation doesn't even talk. We're not even talking about free speech if we're talking about a private enterprise doing what they wish with their platform. Free speech is only a conversation when it's enforced by the government, essentially, is what you're trying to say. Okay.
When there's a government entity that's regulating that, that's where it gets hairy.
So here's where I stand. And
because the government's supposed to be for all people.
Yes, and I agree with that. I am all about free enterprise, and I'm all about, if Facebook, Twitter, if they want to be liberal, left-leaning, and they want to filter out conservatives, I'm all for that. But here's why. I'm actually not for it. I don't agree with it, but I'm okay with private business doing it, and here's why. It creates competition. It creates better businesses. So if you look at business has been shifted and created from people turning away from business. Businesses that don't adapt with people's demands fail. Look at cassettes. You know what I'm saying? So you have different ways that the general population has formed business. So now we have Facebook, we have Twitter, right? So you have these two biggest social media platforms. If they all start becoming left-leaning, what do you think is going to happen next? And they start filtering conservatives. Well, you're going to have stuff like the new one, CCR TV, just came out.
Nope.
It's a paid subscription. Yeah. They're making money by you paying them to join, but now you have a lot of people joining that because it's a conservative platform. They're not filtering free speech. And so now you're going to find new pop-ups. You're going to find new businesses coming out of the woodworks and creating themselves to replace these platforms that could not keep up with the times.
Well, you can tell when those places are leaning more to the left. Like, it's so obvious that they're leaning towards the left. Like, you're leaving out a lot of stuff. And not you, Chris. I'm talking in general. But they're...
Oh, he's attacking me.
No. You can tell when a site is leaning toward the left because you can tell in the wording, especially if you read an article. And there's certain words where you say, whoa, these people are really, really leftist, or these people are really, really right-leaning. You can totally tell. And if you can't, then you need to wake up and smell the roses and drink some Coors. Drink some Coors Light, man.
By the way, Coors is not a sponsor.
No, they're not, but maybe they will be.
No, they won't be.
No, they won't be. Who do you want?
Local businesses, Brian.
Yes, we're all about small business.
Yeah, but Adolf needs a chance too, man. Adolf Coors, man, he's just got a small business out in the Rockies.
I was really confused for a second.
Yeah, I was confused for a second too.
No, I wasn't going to go that way. No, but like this free speech is free speech, in my opinion. And when you talked about the gun debate, it was like, well, people are saying, well, you shouldn't have an AR-15. You don't need that. Yeah, you're right. I don't need that. But if I kill someone with a bazooka or kill someone with a knife, does it really change the fact that I just killed somebody? I should be able to have a bazooka if I want a fucking bazooka. I mean, we can all get knives, you know, and it's still, you can still hurt people with it.
I get where you're going with, and I actually agree with you to a certain extent on that.
I want a bazooka.
That was a bad example.
I want a bazooka, is what I'm trying to say. Somebody send me a bazooka.
Everyone should have bazookas.
I feel like I should because I am the person responsible for that inanimate object that could cause harm if I chose to do that. Not the bazooka doesn't go off by itself and blow up whatever. The knife doesn't just go into a random body by itself.
Okay, but you want the right to have a bazooka.
Yes, I will fight for that right.
You are a responsible explosive owner.
Yes.
Do you really trust the rest of the world with bazookas?
See, I have experience with AT4s, C4 back in my military days, but yeah, you're right. You know, if you want to have an honest discussion with me, Eric, yeah, not everybody should have access to bazookas. I should, but not everybody else. Not in this state, but maybe in a sober state. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I get where you're coming from to a certain degree. I think because it goes back to that conversation of war type weapons. And Eric's
I think bazooka classifies as a war.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm talking about the conversation in general. When people start talking about AR-15s, they talk about military style weapons.
Right.
We shouldn't own military style weapons. Well, as I've stated before, I'm being kind of redundant. I'm a firm, Second Amendment supporter. So I think the Second Amendment encompasses everything where a militia or the people have the right to bear arms. So I don't think there should be a huge dividing line between that. I think that if I want to own a 3-round burst M4, I should have the right to do that with certain scrutiny. there has to be some very in-depth scrutiny of the personal character involved.
But who are you asking to regulate that? The government that failed the people of Florida?
That's exactly the problem, though.
Yeah.
That's where the problem lies, and that's what I think all of us could agree on. The problem doesn't rely on your background check or you. The problem relies on the institution doing the background check. Right. So the government's failing at all levels on that. We don't get together and agree on that. The left and the right, both sides of the gun conversation, don't get together and talk about how the government's failing us. We're not failing each other. The conservatives aren't failing liberals. Liberals aren't failing the conservatives. The government is failing us all, and we don't talk about that. And I think that's a huge thing that, when I talk, Eric and I can sit here and talk about military-style weapons. Like I said, the right scrutiny on that, then you could have an effective system. However, when the government fails us, we have people like this lunatic in Parkland that sneaks through the cracks, and I shouldn't say he sneaked. That wouldn't even sneak into the crack. He
just blitzkrieged that school.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking
up to it. All the reports that just went, kid.
That's what I'm talking about.
Don't worry about that, kid.
And that's the double standard again in politics that you hear about. Now you have the FBI raiding the lawyer, the attorney. They're more worried about raiding the Trump's attorney's office about a freaking porn star than they were about catching some lunatic killer. Mm-hmm. How do you call that an institution that's successful? They're more concerned about the current president sleeping with a porn star.
It takes the heat off of them. I don't care. She's just trying. Whatever. My rant with that is like this. This woman is just trying to get a book deal out of the whole fucking thing. That's why she wants that. She just wants a book deal. She wants to be like, hey, because it's interesting. A porn star and the president of the United States. It was just like with the Monica Lewinsky with Clinton. I mean, people were writing books left and right on that, and people were making a lot of money. So this is just about money. This is about money and somebody just trying to remain relevant. I mean, this woman took 25 loads in the face from a bunch of Japanese businessmen, and I'm supposed to believe what you like. I care about your morality or anything like that. Go get out of here. Get out of here. And another.
I have no words.
You got nothing to add to that?
Why do y'all want me to be a producer on this show? No, but I'm going to say it's all about money. Like it's about money. It's about what spends it. It's about like we were talking about advertising. It's what keeps that machine going.
We got to have a warning on this one.
I think I finally said the wrong thing. Now I'm going to get some Eric hate mail. You ruined my podcast.
I don't know where to go anymore.
I know. I kind of set the bar really high. But let's talk about something a little bit more local. Let's talk about Tinder.
I got a good way to close this out, actually.
Are we closing this out? I really
not quite yet, but we got a few more minutes. But I want to do some Q&A.
Okay, women on Tinder, don't stop just showing me headshots and stop saying, "Oh, you want an honest guy and you got nothing but filters on your photos." Jesus Christ, that is so. If you support Trump, swipe left. Oh my God! But you're open and you're an open, free-thinking person. Jesus Christ, whatever. Anyway, I've never been on a Tinder date. I'm just noticing what I see. You
need to sit still.
Sorry.
It's like a kid gave too much candy. Oh man! All right, so we're gonna do a little Q&A here, and I thought this was kind of cool. We'll I'll pick one of you guys. You pick a number between 1 and 9, and I'll ask the question while I'll go around and answer the question. I think it's kind of a cool little thing. So just kind of a fun Q&A. Eric, give me a number between 1 and 9.
Let's go 3.
3? All right. You buy the winning lottery ticket and end up winning $100 million. What do you do first, and what do you do with the rest?
See, I'm boring. I'm paying off all my bills. I'm helping out my parents. I'm gonna have a sweet computer though. I mean, the hell with you guys. I'm out of here. I don't know. I don't like extravagant things. I'm not going out to buy the 10-room house or Lamborghinis. I'll probably buy nice little 3-bedroom house. I'd get my golf again. Other than that,
you say that, but you don't have that money in your pocket. I want to see what happens if you actually had that money in your pocket.
But it's just you buy this great big mansion.
And then you got to pay taxes on it.
Yeah, you're paying taxes on it. I have to maintain the whole goddamn thing. I'm only going to use 2 of the rooms. Why? Why do you need all that shit?
Why do you need an AR-15?
Because you want one. Because you want one. You know,
All right,
just
Brian.
like I want a bazooka. And that's what I'm going to buy. With all that money, I'm just going to buy a plethora of bazookas and just sit on top of them like a dragon, like Smog on top of all the dwarves'
You know,
gold.
since two of us on this show are conservative, the FBI is they're gonna sift through us and they're gonna put him on a watch list.
Absolutely. I just wouldn't be surprised if we already are.
So Brian, same question. What would you do?
Same question, definitely. I mean, I'm in total agreement with Eric. I wish I would have been a little bit more controversial, but like I said, I would pay off all my debts, like my credit card, pay off my parents' house. I'd probably stay in that house. I love that house. It was my childhood house, and I'd just spend the rest of I'd probably buy a little house right on the beach in Wilmington or Emerald Isle, North Carolina, and just. I don't know. Just go sailing, go fishing, playing golf, play video. Get the latest and greatest in video games. Maybe open up a bar. I don't know, a bar with a bistro. Sell some burgers and some gourmet burgers, gourmet hot dogs. Pub grub like that, and have some beer.
I'd eat
and
that.
then you guys are welcome to come and eat for free.
I know what the name's gonna be. Bazooka Joe's.
Bazooka Brian's.
Bazooka Brian's. Okay.
Bazooka Brian's Burgers and More.
That's not a bad name, actually. That might work.
But that's what I always. My dad always wanted to open up a restaurant, and I got a lot of my dad in me, and that's what I would probably do. I wouldn't want the big mansion either. Just a nice, decent house.
Yep. Yeah. So personally, my plan would be same thing: pay off debt. That'd be
I think that's everybody.
That's
you pay off
everybody,
your debt,
yeah,
so they stop hounding you. But then you'll start getting, you qualify for this $10,000 gold card.
Aside from that, I would buy, all my family members, I'd buy them a new house where they wanted. I'd be the guy, not a 10-bedroom mansion, but I would buy a nice size house that I want. But I would build
Somebody's hungry.
I am. I'm starving.
Sorry. I heard that, so that thing was like...
But I build it the way I want. I would actually design it, build it. I'd buy myself a couple thousand acres, and I'd have me a hunting preserve.
Yes.
And then I would also
range in the back.
Bazooka range.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say I would have myself my
I'm
own custom
coming
gun
over.
range. I'd stock up on a lot of the firearms that I dream on having.
Oh God! My first day, I would be at work. Just I got 5 permits here. I want that. I want that. I want that. I want that.
Yeah. So I mean, aside from that, I'd also want to. I think I'd start a non-for-profit. I'd like to find an organization to start a charity for. Start a non-for-profit. It's just always been a dream of mine. To help out people that need it and.
You are a much better person than I am. I'm sitting here making fun of you for saying that, but not really. You're such a good guy, Chris. Like, seriously, man.
And there would definitely be a couple charities that I work with every year.
Don't say it now because he said it. Come on. You didn't say no. That was the first thing to come out of his mouth, which I'm just messing with you guys. But that, honestly, Chris, that was really cool that you did that. And he's giving him eyes like, why the
because it also brings me into the next part that every year I do Extra Life, which is playing video games for 24 hours.
He does. He's actually got proof of that.
And guess who signed you both up as a team with me?
Oh God.
We get to play video games for 25
I don't have
hours?
to do it for the full time. I want to get you guys to drop in at times when you can.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck
do the
yeah.
full 24 hours. I'm on board.
Ooh, yeah. What game were we playing?
Doesn't matter. We play whatever.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
All right. Well, I'm going to pick the next question.
We'll talk about that at a later time.
wow.
Yeah, we can actually do
Yes.
some features on that too on the podcast. We'll do some live
Totally do
videos and
that.
live Instagram, live Facebook stuff. I'm definitely down. So, and the next question that I wanted to pick, and this is going to be an interesting one. I got 2 more that I want to do before we close out. Who are the 3 greatest living musicians?
Oh boy.
I'm going to have Brian start with that one.
No, don't
Okay,
put
so
me
we
on
can
the
all
spot.
we can all pick one. But it can't be the same one.
No. Okay, I will go.
We're going to collectively pick the 3 greatest.
I will go. And if you know anything about me, not necessarily a musician, he does play, but he's more of a composer and writer. Maynard James Keenan, frontman for Pussifer, Perfect Circle, and Tool. 3 of them. Anything he puts his name on, I'm going to listen to. Billy Howardale, I will say, is as far as like musician. He was a guitar tech for Marilyn Manson, and then he's the lead guitarist for A Perfect Circle. And musician. God, that's such a loaded question because I know who you're going to.
Two is fine. That's cool. We can collectively come up with
Toss up between David Grohl and David Grohl and what's it called? Smashing Pumpkins. Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan.
Yeah. Even though I heard he's quite a bit of a dick to work with.
I've heard real bad.
Well,
things
this is
about
just
James
creativity.
Ehud doesn't have anything nice to say.
This is
about
just
him.
creativity. So
him. I mean, I love Corgan, but he killed Smashing Pumpkins.
I have to go out there and say you guys know one of them. You definitely know one of my three. One of my three is going to be Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor from Slipknot, Stone Sour. And the reason I say that is not just because of those two bands, but just because all around his collective, ideas, who he is, his creativeness. I think Slipknot is one of the best. I don't even know what you categorize in nu metal bands.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is
because
because
it's bad connotation to it, but
it is bad connotation. But it's one of those. I know, Brian, you might disagree.
I just don't like the music, but I will agree that he is very.
But
very
they've taken
talented.
that genre of music and he's turned it into something that is actually pleasant to listen to versus some of the other stuff in their category that's just like, whoa, what's that sound? And then I'd also have to say one of my favorites, and not because of his music per se, but some of the traction he's made in the ideas of music. I'm a huge Marilyn Manson fan.
yeah, me too.
I was too, and I was looked at weird back in the day when I was like, "Oh, I'm a big Marilyn Manson fan." Oh, you like him?
Yo, you're a Satanist or
Yeah,
something.
you're a Satanist. I am a Satanist. Anyway, hold on. Quick side note. Shout out to my buddy Jamie, Steve Harris of Iron Maiden, one of the best musicians ever. Bassist, writes all the songs. Yes. Okay, that's it.
And then you'll never guess my third one. My third one is actually
Billy D. Williams.
no idea who that is.
Works every time.
Lando Calrissian? Sang that jingle for Colt 45?
Still don't know.
Musician.
Okay, continue.
Musician?
Well, so yeah, it's a musician.
Is it like an obscure? Is it that weird like band that you were showing me when we first started working together?
Weird band? I'm not sure what weird band
It's
you're
like a
talking
jam,
about.
like a hippy dippy like jam band.
Kind of. It's kind of folk.
Yeah,
Can I play anything on here? I don't think I can play anything on here.
Well,
can I?
we don't.
Just be careful with copyrighted music.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess-
that's pretty much all copyrighted down. It's like dun 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 dun.
Dun, dun.
Did you ever hear that song that the System of a Down did?
Yes.
With that? Oh my
It was
God.
fantastic.
We're losing all our
Fantastic.
listeners today.
Oh man. But so
So
I'm gonna
anyway,
hear. Okay, so you got it.
Yes. Oh, I know who it is. I was going to play it, but I'm not going to play anything just because I don't want to get any copyright issues.
Yeah.
Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson. Okay.
Jack Johnson's one of my all-time favorites.
Okay. I knew it had to have been that kind of a genre.
But if you think about it, like his music, it's everywhere. They play it at every retail store across the nation. Like the guy, from what I've heard, I've talked to somebody that said he's extremely laid back. He's an easygoing, nice-going guy, very creative, but his creativity comes from a bit of a different mindset than some of the other. I know I'm putting Marilyn Manson and Jack Johnson in the same category.
That's what's great about
But-
music, though.
Yeah. So, anyway, that was my three. What about you?
Well, Brian stole one of mine, Dave Grohl. Because man does no wrong in everything he touches. But for me, Jonathan Davis, lead singer for Korn. I've loved everything Korn's done. I've loved all his solo tracks. I like the way they kind of change up their style with every album. Try something new. Doesn't always work, but
I've seen some behind the music stuff with that, or like those DVD like side things. You watch him in the studio singing, and when he gets into it, like it's very, very emotional.
oh yeah, he does the same thing with his live shows. He's just an incredible presence everywhere
Nice.
he goes. And then David Albarn, which most people won't know by that name, but he is the voice and music behind the Gorillaz.
Oh yeah, I like the Gorillaz.
Love everything Gorillaz does.
I got. Mama's always said, if I ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. So I ain't got nothing to say about that guy. I was very disappointed in Gorillaz. I told you that in the last podcast.
I know, I still don't believe it.
I'm not going to take any away from you guys
Humans
for
was
liking it.
so
I
good.
just don't get
I
it.
like the
Me,
Gorillaz.
the old crotchety Gen X guys.
So
Like,
we're
that's not
going to
music.
close it off on question 7. This is an easy one. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Well, as one of my favorite comedians, Paul F. Thompson, put it, it's always going to be cake for the one instance that they have yet to figure out how to frost a pie. Frosting is what makes cake so much better. I'm going to steal a lot of his bit, but, what you got? What does pie have for it? pie filling. You find that in the donate to homeless people charity during Thanksgiving and Christmas. But you can always, when you're eating pie filling out of the can, you feel shame. But you don't feel shame, but something bad has happened. But when you're eating frosting, oh man, that you just feel like, oh, God is watching me. I'm doing something wrong. I'm going to go to hell. But anyway, shout out to Paul F. Tompkins. If you know his comedy, look him up on YouTube. He's awesome.
Giving a lot of shout outs today, man.
Seriously,
Yeah.
name dropper over here.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, well, these are people who have influenced me comedically or
He's taking
whatever.
side sponsorships.
But
Yeah, I think he is too.
you may be a producer now. I got to start pulling in some money.
Me, pie all day. Unless it's my wife's cake. My wife makes
no.
the
You can't
best
have.
cake.
This needs to be broad statement. You need to like cake or you need to like pie.
Bullshit. I can have my cake and eat it too. You like that?
I hate this podcast.
Or you can have your pie and eat your cake too.
There you go.
But I will give you that because your wife's cookies, those cake batter cookies, are oh my god.
They're awesome. Have you had them yet?
No, I
She
haven't.
can't
Oh my
make
God.
enough of them.
And we actually have to we got to wrap this up here in just a few minutes. Believe it or not,
Holy crap.
Yeah, my mother-in-law is in Raleigh, so she's almost here.
Gotcha.
So Heather's gonna hear this later, and she'll be like, "Wait, they were talking about it in the room, and I didn't even know."
That's funny. That's funny.
You're welcome, dear. I hope you enjoy your surprise. So
Hey, we've known for weeks.
yeah, right, yeah. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for the previous podcast. I had fun on this one. Whether you like listening to it or not, this one was pretty fun.
It was good, yeah.
I got drunk and was able to talk, so any day I do that is great. Thank
We
you.
learned a
guys.
lot more about Brian that I didn't know. And I'll tell you right now, the whole 40 was completely unplanned.
Yeah, I had no idea that was coming.
Neither one.
I wanted to surprise. Like I said, it was very surprising to be in a grocery store at 9:45 in the morning and buying beer like the lady.
And that was a true story because we had no idea. He was coming out. We were walked out the door looking for Brian. Like, where is he here yet? And when he comes out of Compare Foods, like, ooh, I just name dropped this, whatever. Hey, there's a call. It's Compare Foods. And they do have really good prices on chicken. Anyway, yeah. So he's walking out of there with a bag, and I didn't even think anything of it. And then he pulls out. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
That's gonna be one of those days.
Yeah.
Well, I was just rubbing it in GL's face because you two have to go to work, and I'm going to go play some golf.
That's
so
all right. That's all right.
I'm going to have fun.
Well, thanks again, guys, for listening. Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about us. Hopefully you enjoyed the content, whether you agree with us or not. Again, as always, send us mail. Thanks for the questions. All the questions that were sent. I didn't get to read all of them, but I do appreciate any of the questions that were submitted. It was pretty fun. I had fun with that. Maybe we'll do a podcast where there's just full Q&A or something like that.
Catch the rest of them on another one, yeah.
Yeah, we need to have somebody on that's a guest, too, that's live from somebody that's listened to our podcast.
Yeah, somebody that you guys actually like.
That's going to be hard.
No, I will send a
Depending on
shout
how
out to
deal
people.
with
Like, if you're listening to this podcast, please throw a question out to me or the rest of these guys, especially to me because I am an open book. I will tell you everything and I will not hold anything back. So if you have any questions
just held
about
back on
why
this.
Brian is the way... What was that?
So you just held back on the gorillas.
Well, if you have any questions about why Brian is Brian, actually, that'd be a good segment.
And we are very approachable. All of us are approachable. We're easy to talk to. So if you disagree with us, don't feel afraid to comment or talk to us. But anyway, we have some interesting stuff coming up. We're going to start a new segment soon. We got the Will Chris Like It segment.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the official name, but we're going to do a segment with beer. These guys got to find a beer that I actually like, and I'm going to be truthful about it. It's going to be a hard task for you. But,
Oh no, we have to go to a bunch of breweries.
Yeah, I know. That would be so fun to have to drink
Yeah.
beer and talk. No, we need to take him to Big Boss in Raleigh and have him sample their Blanco Diablo. I believe it is in season now that it's starting to warm up.
And just so you guys know, it's ampodcast@gmail.com, and it's ampodcast1 on Facebook and Instagram. And we still, I searched the other day, it's an old handle. ampodcast1 on Twitter is an old handle. I have no idea why.
Yeah, we'll message
They're
you.
not even using it. I'm thinking about messaging them, see if we can have it. But anyway, it's AM Podcast 18 on Twitter right now. Please like and follow. Even if you guys, don't
If
do
you
anything
just
else,
like
but
us, just
share
to
us.
hate us.
Yeah, just share the episodes or share us just to get us out there. We're trying to garner a bigger following. We want to know if you guys do like the episodes. Please let us know. If you don't like it, what can we do different? We're new at this. We have fun with it. That's why we do it. We're not doing this just to make money. We are actually having a blast with this. We're actually making negative revenue now. So
What if they ask you to fire Brian? We
got 3 people now. That's a vote.
Don't twist my arm.
That's a vote now.
2-1 vote. Yeah.
Who's got board seats?
Not me. So it's like 2 versus Brian. You got to get out of here.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for joining in, and we will talk to everyone next week.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm trying to come up with a catchphrase.
You can take mine. I gotta find a new one.